one of the tenets to financial peace is Gazelle intensity. And the concept is you are intentionally sacrificing your lifestyle for a defined period of time in order to free yourself from the bondage of debt. And
I'm not going to lie, that sounds a little creepy.
it's something that I embraced when I was going through the program.
Yes, I'm sure it resonated.
It definitely resonated with me. I will tell you that Tashina dragged her feet every step of the way. It did not resonate with her because she did not value being debt free more highly than having flexibility to do retail therapy. My wife is not a super expensive person. Retail therapy is she's going to go to Ross and buy a purse for $24. But if she doesn't feel that she has the flexibility to go out and do that, that's not going to create a better outcome for her. So it was challenging, but even in the midst of that, we had to find room for those things, and we had to say, you know what, as much as I want to be Gazelle intense about getting debt free to a certain point, getting to the finish line in a record amount of time, I literally cannot do it with my wife running the other direction. We've got to find a pace that works for us and find a rhythm to how we are making progress in these areas. And as we started to pay things off and she saw how it freed up money for us to be able to do more things, then she was starting to kind of say, okay, well, we can cut this back and make certain changes. But she's the type of person like, I got to see it first. I need a proof of concept. And then once I have a proof of concept and I see where it benefits me, then I'll start, investing more time into it. But I love talking about money and numbers and stuff like that. She doesn't. She's a different person. And it took me learning the hard way of how do we find a pace and a rhythm to how we are managing our money and achieving freedom. And I think what I'm hearing you say is everyone has to find that pace for themselves, and being realistic that if you want the flexibility to be as spontaneous as you want with your money, that's fine. But if your household income is $100,000 a year and you spending $102,000 a year, well, that's a problem.
No, then that's a problem, right? So, and I don't want this to come off the right way, but you can only go as fast as the slowest member of your party, right? So it is too stressful in a partnership to try to feel like, you're on opposite sides of the table, right? You need to be on the same side of the table, trying to achieve the same goals together. And sometimes it takes some people a little bit longer to understand the importance of some of these strategies or the concepts involved in trying to get out of certain debt, because it's going to make your life that much better in the long run. But to your point, unfortunately, some people don't have the luxury of building in some of those choices. So, you were in a position where you took a look at your expenses and said, you know what? We're going to build in an extra, and I'm making this up, $100 or $200 a month for her to be able to go blow off some steam at Ross, right? Because it's too important to her and her mental health for us to give it up. And it's just not worth it in our relationship. This is how I can get her to where I know we can be. Right. For some people, they don't, unfortunately, have that luxury. They have to make those cuts in the short term because they're underwater with their cash flow, right? They're spending more than they're bringing in just because of the debt service. And that is the scary thing, is when you take a look at all of the debt service, everything you pay toward credit cards, the fixed expenses, whether it's a mortgage, car payment, and you go, I don't have enough to cover everything every month. And then you have to make some really hard choices. And I've unfortunately seen that happen too. So everybody's different. Everybody's in a different place. Everybody makes a different amount of money. These aren't choices that everybody has the luxury of making. Sometimes you're forced into them, whether it's a short period of time or longer, but you can still build habits to give yourself financial peace and a peace of mind that you're doing all the right things.